All right. Hello, hello, hello. Uh, it's been ages since I streamed. I think the last time I streamed was probably for the Pride Open, which was that August, I think? And before that, it was my own tournament back in June or July. It's been a hot minute. But we're back with MajSoul. I have unfortunately dropped out of Master a good while ago, but I'm working my way back up. Um, I was having some rough games for a while, just like a lot of back and forth, and then I kind of quit Mahjong Soul and switched to Reishi City for a good while. Immediately came back and started this 11 streak of first and seconds. It's no longer quite going that well. However, I am still much happier with how I've been playing lately. I absolutely will, Sotha. I'm gonna do it. Wait, why did I immediately try to enter Jade? Alright. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes today. I've been doing very well lately. My rank went from like near the bottom of Expert 3 up to like a little bit above the middle. So like I got a while left to actually hit Master, but I am on my way up. Alright, not a bad starting hand. Also like not a fantastic one, but like it's workable. I'll wait for the next West to come out. I'm sure that like there's gonna be one more probably, or I can just draw that. I am Ishanten already, thanks to that 8 Mon. Very happy with it. I would just be Richi Dora, unless I can pick up a West. But ooh, that's tempting. I will drop this 1 and 2. I can easily pick up a 5 around the 4, so I can drop this 2 if I get that, whereas this is just a flat-out worse group because it can't really be upgraded like that. Similarly, I could find anything around here. Counting Shanten, it takes a minute to get used to. I say a minute. It's longer than a minute. By a minute, I mean a while. So, you know, the opposite of a minute. But it's just something that you gotta, like... No, it's something that, like, it just comes with time. And I feel like free Jianxis aren't too rare, at least not for me. I see them a good bit. We'll see if I can find something around here, because that's probably more likely than picking up the 3. But I think with this, I might just be happy with a 2 Han hand and calling pawn on West if that comes up. I'm realizing an issue. I didn't pay attention to this at all, which I absolutely should be. Both the reds are out. I should not have kept these. This was bad, actually. In fact, now that I have the 7, I'm immediately dropping them. Because now I'm back to a double pair weight over here, except this can still be upgraded. Whereas the red dragon just can't. And also another thing I could do is call on the West, drop this, and then eventually wait on this 5 and 8 as like a double Tonki weight. I mean, that's understandable. I have pretty much always been a vibes player. I have so many friends who, like, try to ask me, like, what the correct way to do stuff is. Like, what the, no, I don't take that. That doesn't improve my Shanten at all. This is half Suji at least. And, like, I could also just drop this. I think I just dropped this. It's Gambutsu. I'll drop half Suji next. I have a lot of friends who are who like playing by the book, who will read up and study on all this, and I just am not that person. I have gone by vibes for the past 10 years, and it has served me well. Okay, this is scary. I'm expecting Toy Toy Dora 3. I'm not sure that it's going to be Honitsu, but it definitely could be. Drop the 7. No. I figured dropping one risky tile over here is better than possibly dealing into the Honitsu over here. And I didn't want to completely fold, though maybe I should have. I don't know that I should have, though, because I really only had one save tile in the 7-pin. Okay, this hand is solid. Hell yeah. I'm very excited to see this. Pair of Easts already, I can easily call those. I have a pair of Dora, that's fantastic. I could call those, I could leave them as a pair. If I call them, I can just drop this 4, or, you know, I can pick up that 3 as well right now. Yeah, no, this hand is great. This hand's solid. This 3 is just gonna go. I'm gonna drop it very quickly. Yeah, I'm just dropping that there, obviously. And this 4 goes next. This hand just plays itself. Hoping that I can hit it off for Chianchi here, so I can try to earn my points back and not have to clear this larger hurdle later. Though if I do have to clear that later, then that's fine. This is a South game. It's only East too. It's not gonna be too bad. Surely somebody's gonna be dropping. Yep, there it is. And then just set auto roan. Whether I pick up the 9-pin, whether I pick up the green dragon, either way, it's one more Han. So I would have a nice 4 Han Mangon. Come on, you know that you want to deal it in. I believe in you, Free Jianqi. You can do it. Also, I'm thinking if a 3-mon comes up, I think I'm pretty likely to win this hand. I'm good with calling Con. It has more of a chance to raise the value of these two players' hands. But I'm fine with that, I think. I like my chances. No, never mind. Rude. Rude to me. Evil. Boo! Boo! Hi, Eve. How are you? That's fine, though. It just moves me into my dealership, which, that was planned. You know, that was, all according to Keikaku. This was intentional for them to win that. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. So this is looking like a pretty easy Pinfu if I can pick up a 7-so here, or a 5-so. 7-so and getting this straight immediately would be better, of course, but like a 5-so leaves this as 3-sided. That's solid too. I would hope to pick up a 6-mon because that's Dora. But yeah, also, in originally saying that this hand looked like an easy Pinfu, of course I immediately drew this 1-mon and really lowered my chances of that. Because now, if I draw the 7-so, let's be real, I'm just dropping the 7 Mon and waiting on this 2 Mon. I'd be fine going Ricci Peko. And yeah, I'm doing great. Especially now that like summer is over, I feel like I can do a million things again instead of just like dying in the heat. I am maxing my chance of Pinfu now and just like maxing my chance really to get to Tenpai at all. I don't like 2 single weights in order to hit Tenpai. I'd rather this nice devil, damn, I am forgetting the words today. Ryeonmen shape. I was about to call it a Ryeonkan, which is not what that is. That's like what this 468 is a Ryeonkan. Which I could drop a dangerous tile immediately. You know what? You know what? Long Suji never deals in. Famously. Famous thing about Long Suji. The most trustworthy type of Suji. But I did like dropping it because it gives me the extra chance to pick up a 5 or a 7 over here. And I can easily just drop Genbutsu here. Come on, come on, come on. Put me in there, coach. Okay, well, that's one way to do that. That's fine. How do I like my chances of 7 versus 5? 7 usually would be better. And you know what? I think because of this... Yeah. You know what? I think the 8 is just safer, though. With both of these 9s out. Just a little. Just a tiny bit. Not by much. There are 4 of them. Either way, my chances are somewhat likely to pick one up. Wait, hang on. What am I doing? If I dropped the 1, it would have been Tanyao. I'm a fool. It didn't much matter. The 7 did not come out, I don't believe. Still, whatever. Hi, Snowy Aria. How are you? Let's see. This hand, not amazing. It's not, I mean, it's great that I can just call tiles, of course. I can have the green dragon, I can have the red 5. I would like a little bit more value than that when I'm this far behind. But we are still in the East rounds, so I guess this is like fine to go for a 2 Han hand here. And I can easily pick up a 5 so as well at some point, or something around there, and wait for a 5 to show up at some point. Okay, that's nice, that's nice. This is Ryan Shanten. Okay, well now this is Ishanten. Just in case of an early Ricci, I'm going to go ahead and drop the 6 and keep the safer Southwind. Both really are going to be very likely to go. This also sets up a little Suji trap for me on the 3-mon. One day you'll be in the gold room. I believe. I believe in you. Don't need that. I'm thinking that, like, if I pick up the Dora, I might just abandon... Well, this hand scares me. This hand is looking like a... it's looking like a possible Honitsu. There's no So tile in here. They seem to be keeping honors. Get rid of that. this hand just very much reads as a Honitsu to me. So I wouldn't want to keep the 5 around if it like is just looking like it's going to be a time bond. But also, I kind of need the value too. Yeah, no, that's absolutely going to be a Riichi Honitsu. I also think I was very silly in dropping this 6 for the extra safety, because, like, this group here, at this point, needs a 3. Like, okay, I could do that and then eventually wait on this as a single weight, and honestly, I think I might like my chances of that slightly more. Worst case scenario, I can also, like, drop one of these 2s if that looks a little bit safer than this 1 at some point, and go back to waiting on the 3. Or, of course, just pick up a 3 and do that. But yeah, I think that, like, it would have absolutely been better just kept this 6 and then find tiles around there and drop this 1. Maybe call Con, maybe drop the other 2. I don't think it would have much mattered because I still wouldn't have hit Tenpai, I don't believe. I mean, that's about where I'm at of just playing with friends nowadays. I used to be grinding the ranked ladder. But now I'm just like, put me in friendly. I'll do my dailies in Riichi City. But that's like, I'll put on like 1 3-player game, and otherwise I can just play friendlies. I haven't really touched much ranked until coming back to MajSoul lately just to try to get back up to master, because this is where I came back to MajSoul. I immediately had this 11th streak of first and seconds. I was very happy. But yeah, you could see I am working my way up there. I'm not calling that because I wouldn't have a Yaku unless I would force Tanyao, which, like, I could with this hand. It's just dropping the 1 really. But I need to find something. I need to find some other group. Actually, what I should check. Let me see everyone's Dama rates real quick. 7%. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll just drop Haku here. Another 7%. And what are you? 8%. Okay. So they're all, like, slightly unlikely to Dama. Not the biggest fan of this hand. It's an awkward one to work with, and, like, apparently I need all the help I can get with these hands today, because I have been gifted some good, very incredibly workable hands that have just been going nowhere. It's just not a great group, sharing the 3 Mon with the 4 and 5 here. And I don't believe in the Itsu here, the 1 through 9. At some point, I'm sure that this 8 is going to be going. I could pick up a 2-pin here. I also like the chances of just the double pair weight. I don't like having 3 pairs. That's rough. But of course that's why I'm saying that this is more likely to end up as a sequence. I had to think for just a second of, like, is there any world in which this hand can go for Nagashimongan? And, like, no. I only have 2 of these. But just, like, I love thinking about my chances of that. I always gotta think about Nagashimongan. It's such a good Yaku. Oh, Nagashi's so fun. I've had it a few times in 3-player. I don't know if I've ever had it in 4-player. Yeah, since I have this other pair, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade this to a Ryoncon instead of keeping it as a possible pair, possible sequence. This also lets me go for Tanyao. It absolutely requires a 6 in here, but that's not too bad. I could force that. Actually, no, it doesn't. Because God damn it. I'll get to the god damn it in a second. But it doesn't actually require the 6 in here. I have enough groups. But the thing I'm saying god damn it about is I have a staple that like keeps occurring, that like just keeps coming up to me, and that is open Sanshoku, which I love Sanshoku. Sanshoku is great. Okay, yeah, no, we're Sanshoku gaming. I'm hoping to keep this hand closed. I love open Sanshoku. I love Sanshoku in general. It's just very funny to me. Yeah, there it is. There's the open Sanshoku. I'm taking it. Open Sanshoku, Tanya Dora, 345. Let's go. I wish that this hand that comes to me so often was worth more than one Han. At least this time, I'm not going for open Sanshoku no Me. At least this time I have a Dora, and it's also Tanyao. It is a very bad wait. Let's be clear. I'm waiting strictly on the last 8 pin. So I think if it really comes down to it, honestly, I should be looking more at this hand. I'm getting too into talking about my own hand, not paying attention to my opponents, and this player has seemingly a Tanyao with 3 Dora, which is scary. They are probably in Tempai, so I should be worried about that. But yeah, like, if I need to, I can fold out of this. I can say this hand isn't worth trying for this. In fact, I think that's fine because of the triplet of the 8s here. 2 other 7s are out. It would be hard for them to work. I mean, it wouldn't be, like, too hard for them to need the 7. It would be a little hard. Didn't even get my Sanshoku. Didn't even get my Sanshoku. This is so sad. It's looking like an easy Tanyao here, though. Just call tiles and that's it. But, like, I would like more than that. Yeah, especially now. Could also be Pinfu, possibly. Like, I could pick up a 6, so I could pick up a 5 Mon, or a 7 pin, of course. That's what I gotta hope for, is reach Pinfu Tanyao. Maybe just reach Tanyao. Okay, there we go. There's the 5 that I wanted. This 9 is probably going to be going at some point, unless I pick up like a 1 or an 8. In which case, yeah, okay. I'm giving up on the Itsu. I'm going for the 1, 4, 7 weight over here to complete these groups. The possible Ipeiko, if I draw into a 6-0, then that's also Pinfu. And it can be Tanyao. Surely the game is going to bless me with the tiles I need, though, and not just leave me hanging like it has been this entire game. I gotta be real, I'm not gonna need this 8. Unless I just happen to pick up a 7. But like, I would rather hold on to safety than gamble on 1 tile. 2 tiles, maybe. 2 tiles it might be worth. But for gambling on a single one like that, no, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna keep the slightly safer off-wind for everyone else. It does worry me a little bit to see these 2 6s out here. But this hand can still upgrade as well if I pick up a 4-so or an 8-so. Which is the other thing about, like, dropping this 8, right? Like, this 8 is only... It would only be helpful in my hand for that upgrade chance. But it's also a pretty limited upgrade chance when I already have better upgrade chances. Of course, dropping the West. I was keeping that as a safety tile, but it was only safe because it was an off-wind for everyone else. It had not been dropped yet, so somebody could actually, like, definitely have a pair. Swap that out for this. Okay, so we have Tanya. I want to reach you this. I'm going to wait one turn. A lot of people would tell you that this is bad. I think that, frankly, they probably know what they're talking about more than I do. But, like, I trust my vibes here, that I'm going to draw a 4-so or an 8-so here soon and upgrade this to a Pinfu. Or a 7-mon. And upgrade this to Ipeko. Like, I have good upgrade chances. That's not one of them. And now that also limits the, what was I gonna say? By dropping the 9 and not calling Riichi, that limits my upgrade chances. Because then if I pick up the 8-so, god damn it. Because then if I picked up the 8-so, then I would have been in for a 10. Let's see. This hand's not amazing. It's workable. I could pick up like an 8-so, find something around this 3 and 7 pretty easily. Use these as my pair. Again, this is looking like a possible Pinfu. Also, hi, Nutaru-kun? I think I'm saying that right. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, this 3-mon, if I can get this, that would be nice as well. Letting this turn into a nice 3-sided shape. I think the next tile to get discarded... I feel like this 3 and 7 are just great to find tiles around. Neteru. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, absolutely, now that I have this 5, I think that... Is that really better than this, though? I think this is just... Yeah, no, this is just worse than dropping this 9. I don't know why I was thinking of dropping the 9 over dropping this. Because, like, it's the same basic shape. Except... Well, these two groups were the same basic shape, except that this also had a 9 with it. Which would let me say that I picked up an 8. Just be able to drop this 3, have this nice Ryuman here. Do I like the bulging middle shape more than I like these? I think here I do. Oh, well, I've already dropped the 4. This is still fine. But like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'm dropping this. This is still fine to have kept over. Well, okay. That can also end it before I had any chance to hit Tenpai. Surely I will win a hand soon. Oh, I'm dying out here. I think my goal for this game is just not to come in last. Just not deal with the massive penalty that comes with that. Which sucks because I really want to just like gain rank and focus more on that, but I don't think that gaining rank is really too easily in the cards for me for this match. I'm not a fan here. Not a fan of this at all. Drop the 1, so I don't think it's great. I think that everything I have here is like a sort of awkward group I think the 1-3 is the most awkward. This can easily end up as a Cheetoy. The other option I was considering was like dropping the 6 though. Since I have a lot of pairs, I wouldn't want to use these 7s as a pair most likely. I don't want to use them as a sequence. I still think it's better to keep this 6 than the 3 at this point. So I'm still going to keep it, but it's going to be my next discard, almost certainly. I mean, I can, as long as, like, I get a good dealership run going. That's Dora. I definitely do not want to discard that, especially with the Cheetoy chance. The 6 is just going at this point. I'm still mostly just hoping for, like... I mean, really, just hoping to get to Tenpai with a shitty hand. Let's be real. Drawing any tiles that I need, drawing any of these pairs, drawing a 2-pin. I'm not so worried about the 5 and 8 because those I can easily win on, but like everything else in this hand is awkward. Do I leave the Cheeto? I'm killing this. I'm killing this 3. Mostly because of the timer. I would like to think on that more. God, I am hoping for Suanko. I am praying for Suanko here. But yeah, I liked the possibility of drawing a 2 for this. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. My hand was hard. It was very rough to work with. So, I do wish that instead of sumoing, that you would just hit lollies over here. That you would just knock them down below me. However, there is a small chance of Honitsu here. I think that the 2 and 5 and the 5 and 8 both work well together because then I can benefit from any tile in the middle of those very easily. This 9-pin, I don't really see myself using this. Obviously just drop east first, but I think this 9-pin is absolutely going to be going next. Okay, absolutely. This hand's not bad. This hand's not bad. If I could pick up a 7-so, I'll be very happy. I'll probably drop the 5-so at that point. Hope for something around either this bulging middle or preferably around this 5-mon. Because this hand could easily be Pinfu if I pick up a 7-so. Okay. It can still easily be Pinfu with that. I may have to discard this 5 at some point. Let's see, if I draw something in here. Do I just drop the 8-9? I think I do. Yeah. Yeah. Because I really want to keep this for value. Any extra Han is worth it. I don't trust everyone with open hands. I gotta pay more attention to when they're discarding from their hand and when they're discarding from Tsumogiri. So, okay, Lolly's here, almost certainly going for Honetsu, I would guess. They kept this 2-mon for a while, and only dropped it after all of these Soin Pin tiles after calling on that. It is absolutely getting harder to drop 5-mon. What I'm hoping for now at this point is drawing another... Okay, well, never mind. I was going to say drawing another 5-mon and dropping these 1s, possibly having Tanyao, or possibly just letting this be a 1, 2, 3, and then, you know, let this 3, 4 be completed with something else. I need the Frigianchi to just stop. I need them to stop this. Or to kill someone else. Yeah, absolutely. I'm dying over here, Arya. Also, for my starting discards, I tend to discard like lone terminals before off wins. I know a lot of players just prefer off wins because they're only useful. God damn it, they're only useful as pairs and triplets. But like the chances of making a sequence out of a lone 9 is bad, and it's nice to keep these in case of like an early Ricci. So I like keeping them for that. But of course, sometimes it can bite you in the ass like this. It's fine though. It's fine though. 2 souths are out. I just dropped that. Keep the east for now. This 8-mon is not looking great. What am I doing with this hand? I would love an 8-cell. I would love a 5-pin. Ooh, okay. Okay. I kind of want to keep this safer east for right this second. Well, no, I should just discarded it because this has a higher chance of being Tanya. So I could have used that 8 for something. Like, it could have been a pair. I could have called pulling on these. Had a 5, 6, 7. That's very nice as well. Fuck it, I'm forcing Tanya. I'm gonna drop the 9. I'm forcing Tanya. I'm going to drop that. I'm going to keep the safer east for right this second. Yeah, we're poning. There is a chance that this ends up as Toy Toy, and that would be incredible. Toy Toy, Tanya, possible Dora 3, that would be that would be Hanemon. Not Honitsu. This is not Honitsu, but that would be Hanemon. That would be the best that this hand could get. Okay, it's not getting there now. Toy Toy is dead. But I'm fine with this. Tanya, Dora 2 or Dora 3, I'm happy with it. It's something. It could put me higher than Loli's. It would get me out of last place, possibly. Possibly, on a direct hit, or on a 4. Now that's very nice. I'm going to discard this 4. Since one has already discarded over here. Come on. Come on. You know you want to drop a 4 so badly. Question is, if I draw an 8-pin, well, yeah, like that. I believe in the 4-so. I shouldn't, but I do. Or the 3-pin, I believe in that coming out as well. I think that going for this is fine, since it has the chance to raise my value, even though... Let's go! Out of last place, baby! Even though the Ryeonmen shape, that 3-4, would have been more efficient. Let's go! Out of last! Into the dealer seat! Time to kill Frigianchi. This is where I get a Yakuman. Sorry, I'm gonna get it. Wait, that's Dora. I'm a fool. Oh, that's fine. I didn't need it anyway. Is what I'm telling myself to cope. Thank you for the raid, Raytheon. I hope your stream was nice. What were you doing? This hand is, frankly, not looking very valuable for me. But, like, as long as I... As long as I can get a repeat, then I'm happy. More Mahjong, let's go! So how were your games today? Because frankly, this game for me has not been going well until like right now I'm riding a high of like actually winning a hand because oh boy, this game so far has not been great. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this. Leave this as a nice Rion Men. Possibly use these as a pair. I don't want to drop this 6 right yet. But yeah, if I can hold dealership and just hope to get a bigger hand next time, then I'm fine with that. I'm just dropping the 6. I'll set the Suji trap here. I still have this 4 to build off of. If like I get something around there, I can drop these. It would be a little bit less efficient this pair of 3s already, but like it would be perfectly acceptable. Oh, 8-game losing streak. That's rough. That's miserable. I've absolutely been there. God, okay, so, this was in 3-player. It wasn't in 4-player, but in 3-player, I used to be Master 2 very briefly, and then I fell all the way back down to Adept 2. I fell all the way through the Expert rings and back down to Adept because I just could not win for the life of me for months. It was horrifying. So I am absolutely used to 8-game loss streaks. Okay, that's nice. That is at least an upgrade to this single 3-weight. I no longer get value out of this Suji trap because it's no longer a Suji trap, but that's fine. I don't care. Somebody's going to drop these. Surely. Surely. Do I keep? Let's see, is the 1-1 even safer? Yeah, it absolutely is. It's Genbutsu against these two. It's Suji over here. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, Mahjong, incredible game. You can have fun when losing. Well, a lot of people can. I absolutely can. I also know a lot of people who can't, but I absolutely can, and that's what matters to me. Now I was hoping for the chance at Toy Toy here, but I am worried about this Riichi, so I don't really want to push anything that I don't have to. I'm gonna cut this 3. They dropped this 4 early on. It looks reasonably safe. This 9-so, however, does not look as safe. Surely someone's gonna drop one of these soon and put me in Tenpai. I still trust the 9-so a little bit, just because it's an edge tile, but of course that doesn't really mean much. Also, frankly, if I have to fold this hand, that's Suji. I'm gonna drop Suji here. I'm fine with that. I would like to keep this dealership going, but if I have to drop it, again, my goal here going into South 3 was just don't lose. Just don't come in last. And right now, I'm accomplishing that. So if I have to fold this hand... No, we're taking it, we're taking it, we're taking it. Don't do it, thank you, let's go! Come on. God damn it. Oh well, this is fine. As long as they don't pass me. Which they don't. Yeah, no. 4,000 doesn't do it. Alright, South 4. Okay. Pair of Dora, that's good. The rest of this, like, I can call for Tanyao. I would want one more group to really feel comfortable doing that, but I think I will be forcing that. Comfortable or not. Honestly, that's fine. Yeah. Cutting east here, keeping west for just a second. Slightly safer in case Arichi comes out. Yeah, this just looks like an easy Tanyao. It does mean that I'm gonna have to make use of a 6 mon here. But I can't use a 9 with this, of course, if I'm going for Tanyao, but like, yeah, no, can't call that. Would love to, can't. I could, hang on. Yeah, this, 1, 2, 3, yeah, I could technically drop this 8 if I wanted to. I'm not taking that, because I would like to be able to use these as a pair if I can, or a triplet. Better as a triplet, of course. This game also very easily could just give me the open Sanshoku that I always get. Enjoy the lurk. Thank you again for raiding. Yeah, like I have a 6-7 here, I have a 7-8 here, and a 7-8 here. Oh. I'm giving up the Sanshoku. We have too many pairs. I can't keep this as a pair and go for that when I have these 2 as well. These 5s are almost certainly going to stay as a pair. Honestly, this might not be Tanyao. Say that I pick up, or yeah, that as well. I'm gonna drop this 2 first. In case I feel the need to call tiles, then I can drop this 2 and force a 3, 4, 5 in here. Not risk the furry 10 of a 1 mon if I end up picking one of those up. I'm not calling that. I don't need this. I feel like I was saying something a minute ago. Right, yeah. This might just not be Tanyao. Like if I pick up a 1 or a 9 mon, this hand is still very, very close to Tenpai. Or it's Rian Shanten, but all of my weights are Rian men. And also this possible Shanpon as well, which includes a Rian men. These are very, very likely weights to fill themselves. However, I would need to outspeed the free Jianshi here, which is not shown to be too likely so far. Okay, that's fine. I'll accept not last. I'm okay with this. I was getting excited about this triplet of Dora, but I didn't need it. I'm going to be humble and accept 3rd place. Minus 13, that's nothing. Alright, I am going to be right back. I have to go use the bathroom very quickly. And then I'll play more Mahjong. Be back in like 1 or 2 minutes. Oh, right, I'm muted. Sorry, I didn't give you enough time to post evil messed up stuff. Should I give you time to do that? Oh no, I accidentally started a game before you got the chance. Oh no. Alright, let's take a look here. Uh, mm, eh. This hand sucks, let's be real. um, I can find things to connect these tiles. That's fine. I could pick up another 3. That's like, alright. This hand is full of like, okay stuff. But there's nothing good about it. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe now there is something good about it. Getting this as a completed shape instead of having to wait on that 7 later is great. I can just hope to like find something around here. I can find a 3-mon, hopefully, please. Or I could just like pick up another 2 or a 5 and ditch this 1. Have these as my pair. Well, okay, let's be real. That's gonna be my pair at this point. I'll discard the single north. I'll keep this just in case I pick up a 7 or an 8. I'm gonna check everyone's Dama rates in just a second. Yeah, let's see. 13%. So they have a decent chance to Dama. 1%. Almost never. Would not expect it from them. And Twainy here. 16%. Again, another player who is somewhat likely. Okay, we cut this. We are Ishanten. It's a pretty bad Ishanten. Waiting on 2 single weights. Though this one can be more easily upgraded. Even this one's not too bad. It could technically be upgraded. Like, I could pick up a... I was gonna say, I could pick that up, and then I could pick up, like, a 1-pin or a 2-mon as well. Or I could pick up a 6-mon now, and then have this Itsu. Have this nice, glorious Itsu. Does that do anything for me that this doesn't? I mean, I'm gonna keep it in case I can get a triplet, including the red 5, and drop this, if that happens. It is more dangerous to hold, though. The Toyman's been dropping a lot of Mon tiles. Well, okay, well, there goes that chance. I was gonna say the Toyman was dropping a lot of Mon tiles, so there was a chance that, like, there was a little bit lower chance, I felt like, that they would be going for Mon. And Himito, I just don't have that information on. Okay. That's half Suji if I still want to drop it. If I want to gamble for the 6-mon at some point. Question is, if I just draw the 6-mon, do I call Richie? I think the answer... Usually if you get the chance to call Richie, you should just take it. I am more of a drama respecter than many of my friends, but still, you should call Richie more often than not. Okay, well, there we go. Now I would absolutely call Richie in basically any circumstance, whatever tile I pick up here. I was thinking that the 5-7 had decent chance to upgrade, so like if I picked up the 6, I wasn't quite sure which way I would go. But yeah, now that I have that, I'm comfortable dropping half Suji here. Yeah, let's go. So I have Reach, Hinfu, and a possible Itsu. Himito has also already dropped a 6-mon. Oh, let's go! Ippatsu Tsumo! So, Reach, Pinfu, Itsu, Ippatsu Tsumo, that's a Hane. God, already so much better than the last game. Starting with the Hanemon, hell yes. For a second, I thought Twainy was just, like, quitting after round 1. What the fuck? Quad of Dora? Okay, hell yeah. The rest of this hand needs a little bit of work, but, like... Man, this hand can go places. I could pick up, like, a 5 or a 7 in here and build off these to have a triplet and a sequence. Yeah, that's something I could work with. I probably should have kept this because there was that chance of the Sanshoku on 789. So I probably should have dropped the 1 first. But the 9 would have been dropped second, so not a big deal. God, I've been playing too much Sanma lately. I came very close to just calling... Or I came close to calling Khan, thinking that it was Kita. And see, like, I could call Khan to put fear in them, like y'all are saying. But, like, the 6, 7, 8, though. The 6 is just such a easy tile to work around. I think that instead of giving them that information that I have the door early, and to let them know that they can't build around it, to have them trying to build around it and then not be able to get this 6 is also very good. Okay. I cut this. I'm gonna need a pair at some point. So really, I think this 8 is just useless at this point. A con. Gave me another Dora too. You know I'm excited about that. There we go. That's my pair setup. A pair and a sequence in here. This 5-so is very likely to be dropped. The only way it doesn't drop, I think, is if I pick up a 6-so. Because if I pick up a 6, then I can choose to drop this 5 and eventually wait. Okay, no. And then I could have eventually waited on a 5-8-so double Tonki wait. But yeah, Ricci, Dora 5, another Hanemon with a 3-sided wait. I'm very excited about this. This hand is... Or this game is going so much better than the last one already. It's insane, the difference. Sadly, I didn't get the Ippatutsumo, though, to bump it up to Baemon. I'll try my best next time. Ooh, you want to drop my tiles so bad. Ooh, you want to drop them so bad it makes you look stupid. Oh, for a second I thought that was one of my winning tiles. It absolutely is not. I'm waiting on 3, 5, 6. The 4 is the only thing included in that group that is not one of my winning tiles. Imagine, instead of Urasan, Urayon. Yeah. You get me, you get me. And the extra food, just for funsies. Hey, 1 Uradora. It didn't bump me up a tier, but I'll take it, just for the emotional support. That's my emotional support Ura. Okay. And now we are at a hand that, frankly, does not look good. This hand is much less workable than the previous ones, but, like, it's still... Well, okay. Now that I have that, there is an Itsu chance. I'm gonna start dropping my honors. Yeah, absolutely, Antioch. That's terrifying. To try to be that guy pushing Honitsu in that instance is... I would be terrified to do it. I respect it, though. I respect the attempt. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. I don't have the need to go for the Itsu. I don't need that extra value. Cutting this 1 and 2 here, I think, is better than just cutting this lone 6. Because it's not really a lone 6, I could pick up a 5 and have this be a double pair, or just, like, get tiles around, or make it easier to get tiles around that group. The 1 and 2 is bad because it shares a 3 with this 4, 5, 5. I think I just chi here. Now I'm gonna drop the 6. I'm almost certainly gonna be getting the last tune. I am also telling them flat out, like, yeah, I'm going for either Chanta, Honitsu, which I'm almost certainly not because of these two, or a Yakuhai. But, hey, still, in the gold room, people are very, very willing to ignore that and just drop tune anyway if it's useless. I'm not putting on that one. This is likely to become a sequence. This is also still somewhat likely to become a sequence as well. So I have options. I don't want to limit myself later. I'm going to need one of these to be a pair at some point anyway, is what I'm saying. So I don't need to call that right now, when I mostly just want to call another tune. I'm not taking that either. The 789 was an awkward group. This 3-4, much less of an awkward group. I don't want to limit my options in these groups right this second. Okay, hang on. That's great. That means that I'm gonna have to cut this 4 at some point, so I'm gonna do that right now. The 6-pin is just looking safer, so I'm gonna hold on to the safer 6-pin. Both are gonna have to get cut. Alternatively, I pick up a 7-pin and then I can drop these 8s as well instead if I would like, but like, let's be real, the 6-pin's just gonna get cut. See, I'm not calling pull in there, because then I would have to have a pair weight over here at some point, and that's much worse than leaving myself this as my pair, and also having a safe tile to drop later in case a Riichi comes out. Ooh. That is better than these. It gets rid of my safe tile, though. Honestly, I'm gonna do something fucked up. We don't need it. It's East 3. I am this far ahead. If it were East 1, I would probably keep any extra value I can. East 3, I think this far ahead, I'm fine to just say, fuck that, keep safer tiles for later. Yeah, the tune is once cut. But I do believe that it can come out later. It might not. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. I'm fine with it. Basically here, I'm mostly just looking not to deal in. If I happen to win with a 3-Han hand, I'm taking that, obviously. I'm happy with it. But not dealing in is my goal. Oh, let's go! That's Tenpai. So let's turn on Auto Roan, because I don't really have a reason to decline a Roan for any reason at this point. Other than it could be funny, which, let's be real, funny is, it's a very motivating factor at times, but I think that here, Auto Roan is just good. Alright, 7 tiles left. I don't think it's going to be too unlikely for my opponents to try pushing out a 2 or 5. If these two try to hit Tenpai, they can definitely drop another. And I think that Real Name TBA is also maybe not likely to discard it. They seem to be keeping most of their Mon tiles, but like not impossible. I can definitely see that coming out. 2 tiles left though, now this is getting less likely. Surely the Hote, though. Surely the Hote. No, that's fine. Wait, I thought you discarded a 5 at some point. Were you in for A10? Or was that a 2 that you discarded? They might have been in for A10. Would I pivot on a 5-so pickup? Listen, here's the problem. I forget my hands very quickly. I don't remember what I had last hand, other than, like, the tune. I had a 7-8-9 sequence, and I was waiting on a 2-5. Anything else in my hand? I don't remember. No, I don't need to take that. This hand can definitely be, this hand can definitely get to call Ricci. I also don't really see a reason to keep this 8-so at all. Like, if I pick up a 7-so, it would give me a very versatile group. But, like, I have pretty versatile groups in this as well. I think it's fine to just leave this as a nice 3-sided group. Possible tune. Also, this might just stay as a pair if I pick up like a 3 and 6 pin. This hand has options. Again, I cannot understate like how differently this entire match has been playing so far compared to the last one. A lot of times I get, if I have one bad game, my next 2 or 3 games are going to be just as bad. So starting the day off with a game where like I just could not get a winning hand, I was like, okay, this is just how it's gonna go today. Understood. So to be at 51,000 in these 3, you know, I'm very happy with it. At this point, I'm gonna drop the 8-so. I think it's going to get dangerous from the Toyman. I want to keep the safer 1-pin. Yeah, I've got the flow now. I just had to summon it to my side. We no longer have the free Jianshi in the game, stealing all of the flow. Okay, not a fan of that, but that is again why I kept the 1-pin. So it will absolutely be discarded here. The 9-so isn't looking bad either. The 7-so was their first discard. It would be very weird of them to have discarded that early if they're going to have like a 7-8 waiting on a 9, you know? They could still have like a pair of 9s, but then they'd still probably want the 7 to go with it. So I'm gonna drop this, even though I have Genbutsu here, because this could be a 7-8-9, and then I get to keep Adora. I'm not phoning that. It gives me 2 safe tiles if I want to fold it. If I pwn that, then I have to get rid of one of my other groups entirely. Not liking that. Yeah, I'm gonna discard a 4-pin. Discard Genbutsu. 9-pin probably was better. But that's fine. 2 reaches on the table. I'm folding out of this one. I don't need to win it. I'm just going to drop another 4-pin. Unless... I'm still dropping this. I would really like a Hatsu to come out. Oh, damn it. Well, that is a 3-sided weight. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I gotta take it. There's no reason to fold out of this, I think. Like... there's no reason to fold out when you're just gonna reach Ipatsu, you know? Ugh. Let's go! Yippee! Okay, this looks like an easy Tanyao. I just gotta drop my honors. That's easy. So like during the last like Mahjong Sword, official Mahjong Soul tournament, I was doing great for the first 2 rounds, and then on the 3rd round, everybody was always getting Richitsumo Ipatsu, Richitsumo Ipatsu, Richitsumo Ipatsu every time except for me, and it was miserable. It was miserable to sit through. So it's good to be on the other end of that. It's good to have Richi Ipatsu working for me again. Okay, don't like that early Richi. That's fine though. I have Suji, which is probably fine against a very early Richi like this. The honor is going to be a little bit safer. I think also 7-mon is going to be... 7-mon's probably safer, I think, than the 3-mon here. The tile right next to a very early Richi like this. Here's my theory. I don't know if this is book. I frankly, honestly, don't actually care if this is book. I play on vibes. So my theory is that very early Richis like this, tiles next to them, almost always safe. Almost always safe. Only after like turn 5, maybe turn 4, does that entirely flip on its head and go the other route, where of course then it becomes much more dangerous. But early Richis like this, no, I'm dropping 7-mon. I'm fine with that. Once of course is Genbutsu now. I'm dropping this. This hand can still hit Tenpai too. I don't have to entirely fold, and it would be kind of good if I don't entirely fold in a way. I'm just dropping the honor. I think that's fine. But like this hand doesn't have much. Okay, well now that this 8 actually is passed, never mind. This hand has much more safe tiles now. Dropping the Hatsu first, just in case I push this hand. But I think pretty soon I'm going to start folding. I'm gonna start with this 4, in case this player eventually reaches. And then I'm gonna move on to these 8s. And I think I move to doing that here. I don't need to win this hand. I'm dealer. I would be fine with this game just moving forward. So the 2-mon, Genbutsu. The 3-mon, I'm almost... Well, yeah, absolutely, that had to have come out after. So that is not Genbutsu. But I do have 2 more Genbutsu tiles here. Well, and 2 more here as well. Genbutsu against everyone except for the Toyman. Yeah, I'm hoping that the Toyman busts out soon and just ends this game early. It's very funny because, like, I'm trying to fold, but this hand still might hit Tenpai. Like, if I didn't pick up that, or if I didn't discard that Forso, I would be Ishanten right now. In fact, if I want the chance to hit Tenpai, if a Forso comes out here, I could call it. I don't think I will. I think that that's very silly. And of course, I could do the same on a 1-so now, too. Oh god, that would give me my open Sanshoku. I think if I get the chance to go for my open Sanshoku, I might take it. Just because I think that open Sanshoku is very funny. Okay. Yeah, we're just folding out. Okay, that might end the game. Let's see, because that is reach Pinfu. No, that's not Pinfu, because it's the middleweight. Richinomi. Dang. Not enough. Okay. I like these Wests. With only 2 tiles and other suits, I could look at this as a possible Honitsu, but in order to make that happen, I would really need other honor tiles. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably not happening. Because I would need more groups. I don't need the Dora. I'm going to leave myself with a higher chance of just getting Yakuhai here. Okay. Cut this 8. I like the 258 because it can work with any pin tile. Preferably, you know, anything more in the middle. A 3, a 4, a 6, a 7, any of those would be better to just give that nice Ryaman shape. But it can also work with a 1, it can work with a 9. That's just interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this too. Be able to build out of this. Even if I end up picking a 7, possibly risk for a 10, I'd be fine with that. To be frank, I don't think this is the hand that's gonna win this round. I think this hand mostly sucks. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting some of these honors. I just don't think that they're too workable. At some point, I'm probably just going to be discarding this triplet of West for safety, though. Probably. Just because I don't see this hand going anywhere. Yeah, absolutely. This hand is great for folding and not much else. Okay, well, hang on. Here we go. Now I'll cut 6. Cut out the possible fairy 10 chance and leave a little bit of extra safety in these honors. Now the Hatsu's not really actually too safe now that we're in the second row of discards, but still I would say a little bit safer than keeping the 6 so, especially against the Toyman. I'll go ahead and discard this guy now. Somebody's probably going to call. No? Okay. Even better. Yeah, now that I picked up another Yakuhai, this hand has gone from being great for folding to actually I can push. Cut this, work with this 3-5 group. These 4s are likely to be my pair. Cut this 5, cut this south. Call triplet here. Okay, well actually, I don't have to call the triplet on the tune, because now if I just draw the 2-so, I can have a nice Ryanman with this 4-5. I say nice. 2 3s are already out, but I think that real name TBA would still be very willing to discard another 3 or a 6 if need be. It would also be hard for anyone to actually discard the tune at this point. Dama, okay. Makes sense. I did look beforehand, and everyone at this table was like a little bit of a Dama Lord. You're so lucky, real name. You're so lucky. I gotta keep an eye on them, though, because they can't reach you now. They have to Dama or call tiles. So I gotta pay attention to when they're dropping Sumogiri. Okay, this is interesting. This hand could be a Chitoi. I think if somebody drops one of these middle tiles first, I'll call, and then I'll look more at Toi Toi. I think if a Naimon comes out, well, actually, I guess a Naimon already did come out. Never mind. That changes what I was going to say entirely. I was going to say that if a Naimon comes out, then I don't call and I wait for the next one. But yeah, really, I think this is looking more like a Chitoi than a Toi Toi. There is also the chance of a Tanya. Like, I could call on any of these, right? I could pick up a 4-so. I could pick up a 6-pin as well over here instead of worrying about the pair of 5s. I would just have to cut a pair of 9s, and that's fine. Like, if I pick up something around this 6, I'll probably just do the Tanyao. Don't worry about the Chi-Toi or the Toi-Toi. I used to be a huge Chi-Toi respecter, and I still am to some degree. Toi-Toi... I also respect more now a little bit to some extent, but I think that really... I just have to say that I don't really respect either too much. I think that Chi-Toi, obviously your chances of actually hitting Tenpai are so low. It's miserable to go for. It's a very defensive hand, and that's what's great about it. That's the good thing. But, you know, if you're going for a hand, it's probably because you want to win, and if you want to win, you probably want a hand that is likely to actually get there. Chi-Toi is not that. Toi-Toi I don't really respect too much because I don't like having to open up so many groups that, like, almost certainly you're going to have to call all of them and leave yourself with so few tiles to actually discard later for safety. Toi-Toi, you are very often risking all of your defense, which I think is kind of a funny situation, considering that Chi-Toi is the very defensive hand. These two hands are both very similar, and also they are used for very different purposes. Okay, well here's the thing. If I need to, I can cut this 2-cell. I was just talking about how I don't respect Toi-Toi. However, if I get the chance, I'm gonna pwn these 2s. If I get the chance, I'm gonna pwn these 2s. I'm gonna go for Toi-Toi. Or, of course, I could pick up a 6-mon in here, or a 6-pin in here as well, and then not be going for Toi-Toi. But if I get the chance to. I'm cutting it. I was thinking about cutting the 6-mon for just a second, but, like, looking across from me, this feels very, very obviously like a Honitsu. I'm not going to be dropping Mon tiles if I don't have to. And that includes the 7-mon. I don't really have much of a reason to discard it when I can just, like, not. Considering that this is Toi-Toi anyways, I could pick up a pair of the 7. Okay, there we go. Now it's safe. And now I can pick up a 4 here again, or, you know, go for Toi-Toi. Or pick up a 6-pin here as well. This hand still has options to push if I wanted to. Oh, Chinitsu. Okay, they're back on the board. Now we gotta kill Twainy. Yeah, good job on Real Name for, like, actually pulling off the Chi-Toi, or the, not Chi-Toi, Chinitsu. Extremely hard hand to pull off in 4-player. This hand is fine. It doesn't fill me with confidence, it doesn't fill me with dread. If I can pick up a 4-mon, I'll be very happy. I'm thinking about just cutting this 1-mon as well and leaving this as a nice Ryoncon shape. I think first, though, I'm going to cut this 1 and 2. I don't have much reason to keep them. Like, there was a possible Itsu. I could have called a 1, 2, 3. I could have called a 4, 5, 6. I could have called a 7, 8, 9. I think that that's kind of bad. It cuts... It's not likely for me to draw the tiles I would need for that. And to try to push that, I think would cut a little bit too much efficiency. Now this is good. I could look at cutting the 7. I'm just gonna cut this 8 first. Because I don't really need a group to build off of at this point. I would like a 4 here, of course. I would love the 4 and just have Riichi Pinfu. Don't really need that. But also, like, if I pick up... I just have plenty of tiles around here that I could pick up as well. Question is, do I want to Dama this? I think I do. I think I'm fine with a Dama, especially since I can go for my signature Sanshoku. I guess really my signature would be open Sanshoku as opposed to just Sanshoku in general. So it's not like fully my signature, but like by not calling Riichi, I have the chance to pick up a, yeah, let's go, a 6-mon like that. Now I also am absolutely slamming the Riichi button. Put fear into these opponents' hearts. So I have Reach, Pinfu, Ipeko, Dora 2 for a Mongon at least. If I can get the 7-mon. Please. If I can get the 7-mon, that brings it up to another Hanemon. That'd be 3 Hanemons this game. Let's go! Is that Paimon? Either way, it kills this player. I think that's Paimon. Reach Pinfu, Ipeko. I'll see in a second. I'm not gonna count it. Yeah, Paimon. Let's go! 150 points, that's what I'm talking about! I'm working my way up! Alright. And a perfect match! Let's go! Oh, that second game went so well compared to the first one. I'm so happy. It is about dinner time though, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Let me see. Oops, I forgot that would just show up on that screen if I do that, because I couldn't get the game capture to work today because for whatever reason it was just showing up as dark and nothing on the internet that was telling me how to fix it would actually work. So that's something I gotta figure out later. But let's find somebody to raid, because this is something that I have been very bad about in the past. I've never actually like looked for people to raid. You know what? Whale streaming. I'll send everyone over to Whale. All right. So he is going to be streaming some more Mahjong / raid. Overlord Whale. Thank you all for joining. It's been good to get back to streaming again. I am looking forward to doing more. But I'll see y'all later. Take care. Let me start the raid. All right. See ya.